Hey, so I decided to do my movie report on Forrest Gump and how he suffered from ASD, or autism spectrum disorder. And so a brief kind of overview of the movie is it follows the life of a boy named Forrest Gump, who was born in the mid-40s with presumably with autism spectrum disorder. But his mother tells him, "You're a normal boy, you can do anything you want to do." And so he grows up believing that. And a subplot is he grows up kind of falling in love with this one girl. And so the whole movie's kind of about how he kind of chases this one girl, but at the same time, he does all these incredible jobs and tasks and, things that some people would think were impossible to do, all these things in a lifetime. He does them all kind of in chase of this one girl. And so it's a funny movie because it's kind of funny to see how he maybe doesn't have some of the social skills or the other aspects that someone without this disorder would have. But it shows that even though, he has this, he does his job better than, any person who doesn't have the disorder. And so it's a really funny movie. So first, I thought I would go over some signs of autism spectrum disorder. Okay, so here are some of the signs of ADS. I'll read a couple off. Having trouble understanding people's feelings and talking about their own feelings. Having delays in speech and language skills. Having obsessive interest. Flapping their hands, rocking their bodies, or spinning in circles. Having more of a robotic voice, so not really using inflection. And not understanding jokes and sarcasm. So those are just some of the signs that come along with ADS. And I'll play some clips from Forrest Gump now so you can see how Forrest Gump has some of these telltale signs.
Go! What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted, Private Gump. Listen up, people.
Now, for some reason, I fit in the army like one of them round pegs. It's not really hard. You just make your bed real neat, remember to stand up straight, and always answer every question with, "Yes, drill sergeant."
Say, man, show me that crazy little walk you just did there. Slow it down some.
You ain't nothing but a
I like that guitar. It sounded good. I started moving around to the music, swinging my hips. This one night, me and Mama was out shopping, and we walked right by Benson's Furniture and Appliance store. And guess what?
As you can see in some of those clips, Forrest does have a lot of the signs of someone who suffers from ADS. And I couldn't show a lot more of them, but there's a lot more. But some of the things that we did see in this are the flat robotic voice, how there's not really inflection in his voice. It's just kind of the same monotoned voice. You saw in the boot camp thing when the drill instructor was yelling at him, he was asking him, a question, and the guy's sitting there kind of making fun of him, saying he's a genius and all this stuff. And then you hear Forrest overview saying, well, boot camp wasn't that really hard, and he really likes me because I answer all of his questions really well. So you see kind of just like the sarcasm and stuff, he doesn't get it. And then another thing I thought was interesting, I didn't really realize until I read about ADS, was in the beginning of the movie, it tells that Forrest had to wear braces on his legs because he was always shaking and moving and wiggling. And they make a joke about it in the movie that's where Elvis Presley got his famous little leg shake from. So as you can see, he does have signs that closely, if not spot on, go with the signs from someone who suffers from ADS. So in conclusion, I do think that the movie did a good job of displaying some of the character traits of someone with ADS very closely. Obviously, there were some things that I feel like they went overboard with, but because of the time setting and things like that, I feel like someone who had these and had the symptoms and things that Forrest Gump did, that's kind of how they would have reacted. So overall, because it was Hollywood, I feel like it was kind of exemplified. But I think they actually did do a pretty good job of nailing some of the key symptoms and traits and points of it, someone who suffers from ADS. And so overall, I think they did a really good job of it, and it's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate in how all people, of course, with ADS would act, but I think for someone with all the traits that he had of the disorder, they did a pretty good job.